Good evening and welcome to the public information meeting for September 12th. My name is Nathan Judy. I'm the information officer for California Interagency Incident Management Team 5. I'll be facilitating tonight's public meeting. We're going to go through our folks that are speaking tonight. That's going to be folks from the team itself, some of our forest staff. After the formal presentation of the meeting, we'll go into questions and answers that were submitted through email today. And then we'll wrap everything up. And we're going to do this every night, folks. So we're going to continue to do the virtual public meetings to make sure you're getting the information you need. We're going to get it kicked off today with our Operations Section Chief, Chad Costa.
Hey, good afternoon, everyone. I just got off the hill and I have some good news and a good report for you. So I'll start down in Alpha, just south of Balch. Everything's looking really good. We have containment line now. You're going to see tomorrow's additional containment line all the way up Dinky Creek to where it turns, and we have a hand line all the way up onto the ridge. So I expect additional containment line on tomorrow's map for the west side of the fire. Coming up into Fence Meadow, I expect additional containment line. It's looking really good in Fence Meadow. Coming up into Bear Meadow, crews were in there, a lot of crews in there today, building depth in Bear Meadow and just making sure that we have all this all buttoned up. So over the next couple days, I expect additional containment line through Bear Meadow, and feeling really good about no issues with Blue Canyon. Coming around, this is what we're calling Juliet to the branch break. Now we're getting into McKinley Grove Road. So this is where I just left. This last couple days have been very cold up there, lots of clouds, high humidity. But today, this afternoon, we started to get some sun. It's warming up a little bit up there, and it gave us conditions to finish this last piece we have. So right now we have multiple hotshot crews and engines and firefighters spread out through McKinley Grove Road, and they are introducing fire just south of the road so we can button this last piece up. Simultaneously, you have multiple hotshot crews and firefighters going direct on this finger up to the Snow Corral Road, and they're just going right on fire's edge and going to contain it right where it sits and bring it right back down Snow Corral to McKinley Grove Road. As you get into the Grove, we've had a lot of success in the Grove, specifically the lower portion of the Grove below the road. It's starting to really cool off in there. Firefighters have been able to finally get into there really deep with fire engines, and all the sprinklers are running. And they reported to me this afternoon that below the road, things are looking very good, and there's limited damage to any trees below the road. Above the road, it's still too hot in there. It's going to take us a couple more days. We have crews in there snagging, which is taking the hazard trees out that will fall on us and letting things cool down a little bit. So just give us a little bit more time to assess the upper grove. Coming down through the rest of the fire, really everything's looking really good and no issues. I expect to continue to see additional containment line all the way through the east side of the fire. We have lots of hotshot crews and lots of crews working all the way through here on the east side of the fire. And I flew this yesterday, and it's looking really good. Back down into the Kings River, no issues at all. So overall, the fire looks really good. I'm very happy that we're going to be able to button this up tonight and into tomorrow. End of report.
Thanks, Chad. Appreciate that. It's good information. Some of the information that Chad just talked about, we want to let you know what the acreage is, containment, and personnel. So we're currently at 58,783 acres, 37% contained, 3,225 personnel on the fire currently. Next up, we're going to bring Kevin Montoya. He's our fire behavior analyst.
Good evening, Kevin Montoya, Fire Behavior on Team 5. Okay, so we're going to start out looking at our weather matrix. So this is our forecast for the next week or so. And those cool fall-like conditions are going to start to warm up. We still are going to have about maybe one more day of the cooler fairly good relative humidity, but as we transition into Monday and Tuesday, temperatures are going to get up into the 80s, really closer to 90, even 100 down in the valleys, and then our relative humidity is going to drop as well. How is that affecting the fire? So I want to talk a little bit about burn window. Last week, we had a burn window that was 24 hours. So what does that mean? It says the fire was able to be active from the beginning of the day all through the night. And with these cool, humid conditions that came in, it kind of made it like fall. And it closed that burn window to make it fire only be able to be active between 1 and 2 hours. And I'm talking mostly where the fire activity is up on the northern end near the Shaver Lake area in that division Mike that our ops chief just talked about. And so that small burn window, that 1 or 2 hours, was really beneficial for us because it gave us a lot of time to prepare those control lines that were going to be needed to be fired off of later. But it also prevented us from doing any firing. And today that burn window started to open up a little bit. It's probably only going to be 4 or 5 hours where the sun's going to be on it and the conditions are going to be dry enough to put fire on the ground. But it's a fairly small distance, so it's really strategically advantageous for us. And now tomorrow that burn window is going to be a little bit more open, maybe 6 to 8 hours, and Sunday as well. And then Monday, when the temperatures start to get warmer and the humidity starts to go down, that burn window is going to start to be more like what we saw when the fire was more active. But by then, we're looking to have a lot better foothold on that northern end. That's all for fire behavior.
Well, thank you, Kevin. Appreciate that. All right, next up from the Sierra National Forest, we have Forest Supervisor Gould.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome. Want to start off with the map here showing the updated forest closure, partial closure that's going to be going into effect tomorrow. And I just want to explain that. You can see the footprint of the Garnet fire and the outline of what the revised partial closure is going to be. The purpose for that is because right now we're out of alignment with the sheriff's office. Their evacuation order and our forest closure order do not match up well. This is the closest that we can get, the smallest that we can get to have it still match up. And as you trace it around, you can see it generally follows around the road system. That's usually how we have to define these, so there's discernible features that give the perimeter to it. So good news about this is that it's only going to be published starting tomorrow for 1 week, and even with that, I'm going to be looking literally day to day with the sheriff's office. If they are pulling some of those evacuation orders back, we will do the same day. We are not going to wait for that 1 week and then modify it. We will be modifying it that same day. So very sensitive to all the activities going on, the hunting season and so forth. We want to make sure that we're providing as much of the 1.3 million acres available to everybody as we possibly can, as safely as we can. So more to follow on that. Next slide, please. Okay, now as I often do, I just want to talk about some trends. There's some extremely positive trends going on. Mr. Judy did mention some numbers to you, but I just want to put them into context real quick. Mention the acreage, 58,783. Many of you I know track this very closely. You may be looking at watch duty and say, well, shoot, that's showing 58,273. Why the difference? Well, we finally, after almost 3 days without an IR flight, just had one this afternoon. And so using that and some other sources we have to gather information, some of the UAVs and so forth for the team, that we've combined all that, and we're quite confident in that 58,783 acreage right now, where that growth from the last report primarily came is just filling in some of this and filling in some of that over there. Those are the primary areas that came from. You'll notice that as far as forward progression, additional acres outside of the proposed containment line right now didn't happen. In fact, we're starting to get a really tight hold on this right now. Every day you're going to see that noose, if you will, tighten more and more on this fire and really start to button it up. He also mentioned containment at 37%. Well, just for those keeping score, and I know that many of you do, that is a 20% increase from yesterday in containment. So that's outstanding. More to follow on that. That's a big jump for 1 day, but the team is really doing an excellent job and making sure before they reported that line is as secure as we can make that, and then they go ahead and call that out. Let's see. Also, trends, just reminding folks, up to this point, single-family residences, 0 damaged, 0 lost, all the way through this entire incident. So still outstanding track record there. Also want to report that McKinley Grove, obviously there's, and rightfully so, a tremendous amount of public interest in that, the status of it, the condition, the response. And so this evening, the team is going to be posting a pretty robust story on the Grove itself. So please do check that out on our webpage for the forest, and also our Facebook page. And also, just FYI, there's also going to be a media event at the Grove tomorrow as well. We want to get all the eyes out there that we can to help get that information to you as quickly as we can. So a lot of good information coming out on the Grove coming your way here in the near future. And that's end of report for today. Thank you again for joining.
Thank you, Supervisor Gould. Appreciate that. Next up, we have Deputy Incident Commander Alex McBath.
All right, good evening, everybody. Glad to see you again tonight. Glad you could participate. Let's see, I'm going to go through some updates with the team. I've told you in the past that one of our priorities was the logistical support of our firefighting resources. Today, we made a move from Avocado Park because we've outgrown that over to Harlan Ranch in Clovis. This has allowed us to make a larger camp so that we can support the workforce, the robust workforce that we have working for us. Just to put that in context, we went from roughly about 20 crews 3 days ago to 70 crews right now. That's an increase of about 1,500 people. So that's why we had to make the move. We got a bigger area out here, and it is a little closer to the fire's edge. Additionally, we've moved Helibase up to Aubrey, which is cut about half the distance of flight time from the current Helibase to the fire perimeter. What this is going to allow us to do is get more water out to the folks out of our water droppers quicker and for a longer duration. So things are looking really good on the logistics side. Additionally, we have been making great progress, like you heard from operations. We have set up the camp in China Peak, and we have a camp over at Washawn Lake at the boat ramp. So we have a lot of people that have come in to help us, and we're supporting them very well. As we move on into the next few days, I have been telling everybody that the fire is going to get a little bit larger. Everything that's happening so far is either planned or we knew it was going to happen. So it is not it's not unprecedented that the fire is getting larger with some of the activities we're doing out there. We still have people on the fire that are out in really tough terrain, and we have folks out working some of the contingencies lines that you can see from Shaver Lake. I was out at a community meeting yesterday with the Shaver Lake community, and they could see those lines going in. So we are doing some contingency out to the north, and that's consisting mostly of heavy equipment. So as we move forward, we're going to continue these. If you have the questions, please get them in. We're here to answer those questions, and like I've said, we're here to be accurate and timely, the best that the team can do for you. Thank you.
Thanks, Alex. Appreciate that. Now we'll go ahead and go into those questions you guys submitted through email today. We're going to first bring up our operations section chief, Chad Costa.
All right. I got 3 questions that I'll answer for you today. When and how are the aircraft being used to fight the Garnet fire? Specifically, when will they be deployed? Where do they fill? How often? And are they being fully utilized? So the last part of the question is absolutely. 26 years of doing this, much more successful when we use aircraft. So what is aircraft? That can be helicopters, air tankers, what we call scoopers, which are smaller planes that can scoop out of the larger lakes. All of those are being used. However, the last few days, what's going on is with the smoke and all the clouds up there, it's very difficult to get aircraft over the fire. We have been successful using aircraft, specifically helicopters, in the south end of the fire, but that north end, that's really been where the heaviest work has been. We just haven't been able to get much aircraft in there. Definitely not air tankers. So today, we did get some helicopters in the north end today as it started to clear out, and we're using them. They're dipping out of Shaver Lake. They're dipping out of anywhere that they can get water out of. So a super scooper, needs a large lake. A helicopter can get a smaller pond. There's multiple ponds and lakes surrounding the fire that they're dipping out of, and it depends where they need to go. So if it's the south end of the fire, they're not going to be coming from Shaver. They're going to be using one of the dips towards the south. So we are using aircraft as much as we can. It just depends on the need in the air. And I think there's 11 helicopters on the fire as we speak. Not all flying right now, and that's just because either the need's not there or they can't get to where we need them. With rising temperatures next week, how likely is the fire to hold at McKinley Grove Road? Is Big Fir Road being reinforced in case the fire crosses McKinley Grove? As I spoke earlier in my update, that last piece of McKinley Grove Road that we're introducing fire to on the south side of it, north of the McKinley Grove, is the last piece that we have to tie that in. I'm very confident with the weather and you're hearing fire behavior that we will be successful with that operation, and I'm very confident that the fire is going to hold McKinley Grove. Just keep in mind that in the Grove actual, it did get over the road, and those hotshot crews are in there right now cutting that out and making sure that it doesn't spread. But to answer your question, we're calling it Snow Corral Road. I'm not sure if that's what you're referencing in Big Fir Road. I apologize, but we do have lines above McKinley Grove Road so that if something did happen, we could grab it there. I don't expect us to need those. The third question is, has there been any fire suppression on the south side of Dinky Creek Road and west of the McKinley Grove intersection in the northwest quadrant? So if I'm understanding this correctly, along the Dinky Creek Road, we have a massive amount of heavy equipment and firefighters in there creating a fuel break so that if something did come out to the north, we would be able to use that. So there's no fire suppression, if I'm reading this right, in that area, in the sense of there's no fire on that part of the road. But we are using those features as contingency lines in case. And it looks, I just came through there and was hung up in the traffic jam for a while. There's a lot of work going on in there, and it looks really good. And it would be a great place for us to stop fire for this fire or future ones. So I hope that answered your questions, and those are the three for me.
Wonderful. Thanks, Chad. Appreciate that. Had a couple questions for the force, so we're going to head and bring back up Supervisor Gould.
Thank you. All right, got two questions. First, why was the fire not fought from the air the afternoon it started, 3:19 p.m., August 23rd, but the next morning? Well, through our dispatch, this fire was reported on the 24th, not the 23rd. We did have 9 other lightning starts. This would be the 10th. In proximity to this were Deer and Garlic. And on the 24th, we absolutely did use aircraft on it, air attack and tankers, up until the point where weather grounded the aircraft. The weather cell collapsed and made the conditions unsuitable for aircraft utilization. So we did use aircraft on the first day of this incident. Let's see, next question. When will permit holders be able to access Dinky Creek cabins to close them for the season, and will this be possible by late September? Yes, we're certainly going to make every effort. We're coordinating closely with the team. We're coordinating closely with the sheriff and the mandatory evacuation that's placed, over the footprint of that portion of the forest right now. So as soon as we can get folks in there, we absolutely will. I think you can see by the current trends of the fire and the fantastic success that the 3,200 plus firefighters are having on this incident. We're making really good progress in stopping that forward progression And so it's looking better literally each day, as evidenced by the 20% jump in containment. So we're certainly very much aware of that. I would say stay in contact with the team. We'll stay in contact with the forest, the team, and the sheriff's office to make sure that we are getting folks in there as quickly as possible to button things up for the winter. We know that's a significant concern, and we want to make sure we get you in there.
Thank you, Supervisor Gould. Appreciate that. With that, that concludes the meeting. That's all the questions we have for tonight. Remember, we're going to continue to have these meetings every night at 5:30. Please submit your questions through our email, and we'll answer those after the formal presentation. Thank you again. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Take care.